Heartland Highways is made possible in part by Sarah Bush Lincoln Health System, dedicated to providing care for all and creating healthy communities in East Central Illinois, offering general and specialty medicine, including a regional cancer center, heart and lung center, orthopedics and sports medicine, a center for interventional pain, and a full complement of diagnostic and rehabilitative services. Sarah Bush Lincoln, trusted, compassionate care. Coming up in this episode of Heartland Highways, we'll feature some talented young people.
First, we'll meet the Coon Holler Kids, a group of musicians and singers from Indiana who spread their love for bluegrass with their performances.
Next, we'll revisit the story of Nina Marshall, a talented musician and self-taught harp maker, several of whose students are featured in our final story.
That final story is all about the Summer Strings program in Charleston, Illinois. Summer Strings brings together musicians of all ages to both perform and learn from each other.
Stay tuned, that's coming up next on Heartland Highways. Thanks for coming along with us for this week's adventures. Today we're in the recital hall at the Doudna Fine Arts Center, which is a fitting location because today's show is all about music.
Now, our first adventure started with a woman who wanted to teach bluegrass music to children. Now, several years later, her group, the Coon Holler Kids, travels the region putting on their very own bluegrass shows.
I worked 27 years at UPS and was the first woman in the country to retire from delivery driver. And so I did that for a long time. And but all the time I played music while I was doing that, you know, with different groups. But I was very limited. And I promised when I retired that I would play as much music as I wanted. Even be careful what you wish for.
Judy's wish has since come more than true. She started teaching bluegrass music to a few area kids at her home on Coon Holler Road in Clinton, Indiana.
Judy lives on Coon Holler Road, I believe, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and we were 10 when we started the group, so kids was appropriate.
Yeah.
May have to change it soon, huh?
Yeah, Coon Holler teens, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, whether kids or teens, a few turned into several, and eventually Judy formed the conveniently titled Coon Holler Kids, as well as several other bluegrass performance groups.
I have a swinging door practically. Seems like there's always people there, groups of people coming in and playing, and I try to fit people together that can perform. And we perform a lot in different groups. There's 4 groups that perform. And the babies start about 4, and the adults are my age.
What's the show going to be like tonight? Can you tell us a little bit about tonight?
I never know. With little kids, I never know. But hopefully it will be start off with the Baby Blue group, which is the youngest group, and then we'll have a group called the Cripple Creek Kids. And I originally just had a group called the Coon Holler Kids, which is my showcase group. And they're going to be showcased tonight, but I also have the other 2 groups too. It's sort of the goal of all the kids to get to be in the Coon Holler Kids. So they just kind of move up.
One thing to note about Judy is her teaching style. For her and the kids, it's all about comfort.
I play guitar a little bit and fiddle a little. And my forte is mostly getting other people to play. I'm just a rhythm person, and I can do the other, but it's very slow, and so that's why it works out well. I think they're not intimidated by me, saying, okay, here's what you need to do, and I can show them slowly, and then I say, okay, now let's go with it, so I make them go fast.
Many of the kids in Judy's group get their start thanks to family members.
I have a lot of families, and one child will be successful, and so then the other siblings want to play too.
One such family is the Vickers. The Coon Holler tradition started with older sister Gwen and has since been passed down to her younger sisters.
I actually started with Judy. I was 11 years old, and I started taking lessons with my grandpa, and then slowly more and more younger people started to take lessons, so then that's when the Coon Holler Kids came along. And now I think she has 3 groups going, but I started a long time ago. I've kind of taken a break with high school, and now I go to school, so it's hard, but when I come home for the summers, I usually sing a couple of times with them.
Others that have joined the group have been inspired by family in different ways.
We're digging under my grandma's bed and we found my grandpa's banjo, and I wanted to learn how to play it.
My dad plays guitar, and sometimes we'll play shows together, and I've had that to encourage me a lot.
I have a cousin that I'm also in his group too that plays, and my family is pretty musically gifted, but they didn't play bluegrass.
No one in my family really plays music except my aunt, so they're pretty surprised when I picked up a fiddle and was able to play it really well.
No matter where they got their start, the group has grown and become successful over the years. And most of them agree that what makes Judy's bunch so unique is diversity.
It's been really nice to see all ages of children together, and I think that's something that's sort of unusual. Usually the kids don't want to play with the little kids, the older ones, and it's nice to see them of all ages together, helping one another and enjoying it. That's one thing I really like about it, is that some of the little kids that are really getting pretty good love to play with the adults, and it's kind of bridges the gap.
You've got kids that are, 5, 6 years old, and then you have people who are in their 50s, and everyone just has a great time doing it. And I just think it's a very unique kind of music for today, and it's just unique that little kids and older people and so many different people can do this kind of music.
It's fun to play with Judy and all the different kids.
The kids come from all over Illinois and Indiana within reasonable driving distance from Clinton and play mostly at churches and small town festivals. For them, bluegrass fills what you might call a musical gap.
I don't know that it's just bluegrass music. I think they just enjoy playing music. Music is just so important in people's lives, and we do it all day long unconsciously. We're humming, we're thinking, listening to the radio, television, and it's really an important part of the lives, and I think so much of it's been deleted from the schools that that's why there's so many people in this area that are doing it.
I think it's fun. We can learn all kinds of new songs, and it's fun showing what we can do on our fiddle and what we can sing.
As for the future, well, Judy says she'll continue to teach. And the kids? Well, I imagine they'll continue to do what they do best: play bluegrass music and share it with everyone they can.
We don't have, if we didn't do this, we wouldn't have this opportunity to be able to go out and just to perform for people. It's really cool.
I first met this next talented artist about 6 years ago at her family's home near Bethany, Illinois. Now, Nina Marshall is a harpist, and she really wanted to play this costly instrument, but she couldn't afford it. So she and her father decided to make one. Well, as you'll see, harp making is just one of the many talents of this young lady.
As a little girl, and my grandma played piano, so I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to do it myself. So when I turned 7, I was old enough to learn, so started lessons there, and that got me interested in the music itself. And then when I was 16, I added on violin, and then after I made my harp, when I was 17, 18, I started playing harp.
When Nina discovered that the cost of owning a harp was out of her family's price range, that obstacle didn't curtail her ambitions. Her parents encouraged her to do some more research into making a harp. Eventually, Nina, along with her father Neil, worked together and built a harp in 1998.
It had a little thing saying, it said, "Warning, do not attempt to make this harp unless you're an experienced woodworker." And Dad and I looked at each other and went, well, let's try it anyway. So it ended up, the very first one didn't work out right, so we started over again, and my first one that worked was pretty cool.
Nina's father found the wood for the harp on the family's property, but needed a way to cut it. So using his own ingenuity, he built a sawmill just for that purpose.
Yeah, the sawmill actually started when we started looking to buy the wood for the harp, and we realized that that was just going to cost just as much, as just buying one if you put your labor into it. And Dad's like, well, we got some dead trees in the backyard, we might as well use them. So he and the boys went out and started making the mill, and then used a buzzsaw blade, and then Dad's old Alice Chalmer with a PTO off the side. Hand cranked it in and out.
The hand-crank sawmill still sits on the property, but now has been replaced by a much larger, less manual operation. Through the trial and error of building that first harp, Nina has now become a skilled and experienced instrument builder, making 23-string lap harps and 36-string lever harps. Her father and brothers Aaron and Chatham mill the wood to ensure that Nina keeps her harp-playing fingers. But beyond that, she does everything else.
Each harp is going to sound different because every one is handmade, and the wood is going to be different. The string length might be a little bit different. Just little things here and there make your different sound. I mean, you could change the width of your soundboard and it'll totally change the sound. So just playing with it and building a harp here and thinking, well, I'll try this, and seeing what kind of sound you get, then you'll know what you want to do or don't want to do on the next one. I rent them as well as make them for others. I've been selling them off the internet. I've had 2 people buy them in Canada this last year, and then students buy them, and then I do a lot of performances, and people find out about me through that, and then if they're interested, that's how they get contacted. And basically I make them special order. When they tell me what they want, then I'll start making it right then. So
when she's not building a harp, Nina is either playing one, composing and arranging music for it, or teaching others to play it.
Right now I have 35 students, last time I counted, but that varies anywhere from 30 on up. And I teach piano, violin, and harp, and then I do performances, weddings, funerals, dinners, background music, just about anything. I do a lot of Christmas gigs and stuff in December. And then I have piano tuning, so I tune pianos on the side. That's all part of Neely's Music Studio. And maintain my website, which has my music and all on it. I always knew when I was little bitty that I wanted to teach. I knew I wanted to do that. I started teaching piano when I was 16, and then added on the instruments as people wanted me to start teaching them. Like, I'd get a call here saying, "Can you teach me violin?" And I'd go, "Well, I guess I could. I know how to play it." So I added on violin, and then harp ended up being the same way. After that, they're like, "Can you teach how to play?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I can do that." So just continue to grow like that. But I didn't really plan, I'm going to have this many students and this is what I'm going to do. It just kind of ended up doing that, which I love doing it, so it's good.
Nina has also released her own CD, featuring music of old hymns that she's arranged. Her sister Sarah, a cello player, is also featured. Nina even sewed the dress she's wearing, and the photograph was taken by her mother, Jeannie. When others her age are still figuring out what to do with their life or just starting down a career path, Nina has been teaching and playing since she was 16. Still in her 20s, Nina is quite certain about her future aspirations.
I want to continue to get better at my technique and at my performing, and then I want to change the type of harp that I play, because right now I play lover. I want to play the orchestra pedal harps, which I do play, but I don't own one, so.
And if her past experience and success is any indication, those future plans will most likely come true. If you'd like to purchase a copy of any Heartland Highways program, visit our online store at weiu.net. DVDs are available for $25 each. Visa, MasterCard Discover, or American Express are accepted. If you prefer, you can call in your order at 1-877-727-9348. Just let us know what show you're interested in by mentioning the story name or the person featured in the show. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. We're happy to report that Nina still plays and teaches music, now from her studio in Sullivan, Illinois. She's still in the harp making business too. And if you're wondering if she ever got her concert pedal harp, well, she sure did, thanks to the proceeds from her Christmas CD. We had the chance to meet back up with her for this next story, which brings together musicians of all ages for a program called Summer Strings.
And this year I didn't really have anything to do this summer, so I thought this would be really great to get into, and I really like it, so.
Well, I like the music, and it's nice to play in a group. Helps me get better.
Kids love hands-on, you know, and that's why I think this is so great, because we're giving even the beginners a chance to play their violins. Even if it's just half notes and whole notes, they're sitting in with the whole group and we're making music together.
Yeah, Terry Colton and I started it together 5 or 6 years ago as a way for our students to be able to play music together in the summer in a very informal way. At first we didn't allow practicing. we just sight read music, and then people started to want to practice their parts, and then it sort of evolved into having a concert. So what we do is all through the month of June and through the month of July, we have rehearsals once a week for an hour and a half, and we prepare a program and play it at the end of July. And the idea is it's a no-pressure situation, and people are self-motivated.
Charleston's Summer Strings program gives musicians of all ages and skill levels the chance to play together as a group. Music teachers Elaine Fine, Terry Colton, and Nina Marshall use Summer Strings as a way to keep their students practicing and playing, but also give them ensemble experience.
I got in it from Terry and Elaine both. I was taking lessons from both of them, and they said that it was open to anybody, and I thought, well, that'd be awesome for my kids, because there's nothing like that in Sullivan, Illinois. So what I do is I carpool my kids up on Tuesday evenings, and they get just ensemble experience in a minimal stress environment, and then they go home and have fun bonding in the car.
It's fun to meet new people, and like I have a stand partner, a different one every week, so I've met a lot of new kids, and they're all really nice and fun to be around. So it's actually easier for me to practice in the summer than it is in the winter, because in the summer I like playing the summer strings music a lot more than what I do in the winter, because it's usually just exercises and scales, and I mean there are songs, but not like this.
The thing is, it's open to everyone. People can come once, they can come every time. We don't take attendance, we don't require anything of anyone. A lot of people come all the time. I guess the idea is to have a musical experience that is simply for the pleasure of making music. And so we like to have music which is a lot of fun. I make most of the arrangements, and Nina Marshall makes also the arrangements, and she adds harp parts to the arrangements that I make. And we arrange pieces that we think people will like to play, and we try and do things that have musical value.
For the younger musicians, Summer String teaches the basics of counting and how to play in a large group.
So right now I'm working with the violin 2Bs, which are the first, second, third year students. And the challenge with them is the counting and staying in time with the more advanced kids. So you'll commonly see me counting out loud for them, or say rest or hold longer. I'll be verbally telling them what to do so they don't get lost, or pointing, that kind of thing.
For violinist Laurel Swenson-Holtz of Charleston, Summer Strings gives her the chance to play with her mom.
My grandma, she got me and my sister 2 violins, and my mom played violin. So I said, well, since I already have one, my grandma got it for me, and I decided I wanted to play it too.
For more advanced students, the program challenges them to their next level of playing.
With violinists, everybody learns higher positions on the instrument in order to play the pieces that they're practicing. And they don't understand the real value of higher positions until they play in an orchestra. And they understand, woo, I have to play this, I have to go up on the instrument to an uncomfortable place, but I'm going to go there anyway. And so the parts we write are challenging so that the firsts have to go into 6th position. And the viola parts are challenging because we have a lot of good violists, and the cello parts are challenging because we have a lot of good cellists. So it's not easy music, but we have a special violin 2B part, which is for beginner violinists. And those parts are very easy to get your hands around, but you have to count.
Summer Strings is open to all ages and experience levels. Seasoned musicians from the area are part of the ensemble, as well as teachers Nina and Elaine.
There's a lot of adults out there that didn't have the opportunity to play when they were kids, and then they're like, hey, I've got the time now, I'd like to play, and yet they don't want to be shoved into the professional scene with, experienced orchestras, and they're too old for youth orchestras. So this is perfect for them because the music they can pick how advanced their music would be for this season, and they learn it, have fun, and it's no stress.
After 6 to 8 weeks of practice, the concert is held in Charleston's Kiwanis Park Bandshell. This year's conductor is April Lee.
Oh, well, we have all kinds of music we're performing. There'll be some things from Disney musicals. The last one that's still stuck in my head right now is Be Our Guest from the Disney movie. The Beauty and the Beast, I believe, is that one. That one's from. But there are also some classical pieces, some Turkey in the Straw kind of pieces that makes you feel like a hoedown. So it's a real good mix of pieces, and I think it's well balanced. And the kids have really improved over our rehearsal period this summer.
It's fun. We use music that they recognize, and then the children are excited. They're going, hey, I play Star Wars, or Be Our Guest, or some other popular tune that they know. And it's exciting for them to be first or second year students and be able to be with a big group that can play those songs.
Thanks to sponsors from the community, there's no admission charge for the concert or to be a part of Summer Strings.
I look forward to it every year. I spend a bunch of the year making arrangements, and I enjoy the work that people put in. I enjoy the camaraderie. I guess the best thing is when people get it. When I'm hearing people around me making music and enjoying themselves with one another and listening. And that's the best part.
Well, we're out of time for this week's show.
And if you want more information about any of the stories you've seen on our show, just visit our website at weiu.net/HH.
Thank you so much for watching.
Some of our favorite adventures were ideas that came from viewers like you. If you think there's a place we should see or a person we should meet, let us know about it. Just make sure it's in the Illinois, Indiana, or Missouri area.
Heartland Highways is made possible in part by Sarah Bush Lincoln Health System, dedicated to providing care for all and creating healthy communities in East Central Illinois, offering general and specialty medicine, including a regional cancer center, heart and lung center, orthopedics and sports medicine, a center for interventional pain, and a full complement of diagnostic and rehabilitative services. Sarah Bush Lincoln, trusted, compassionate care.
Today we're in the recital hall at the Dowda Finance Center?
Finance Center?
Finance
Perhaps.
Center.
Our first adventure starts with. You got your part, why can't I get mine? Started with a woman. That's a good look.
I don't see any chords.
Okay. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Let me do it one more time.
Makes sense.
Okay, well that's good. It makes sense, that's our goal.